We are in the final stretch of this election day. Polling locations across East Tennessee and the whole state close at 8 o'clock.
From the top of the ticket in the race for president to a local choice about shaping future elections in Knoxville, voters are making some pivotal choices.
Federal, state, and local decisions all in play tonight. Joining us this evening to talk through Election Day is Knox County Election Administrator Chris Davis. Chris, thank you so much for taking time for us. I know on a very, very busy day.
It's as busy as it gets every 4 years.
Absolutely. So, Chris, give us an overall sense of how voter turnout countywide has been so far this election day.
Well, I don't have exact numbers, but seemingly, based on the phone calls and the numbers I'm getting from my inspectors out in the field, turnout has been very strong today on Election Day. I think we'll have a number of, particularly your larger county precincts, that will exceed 1,000 voters today alone. And we've had a ton, and I mean a ton, of voters who they don't know if they're registered. They registered after the deadline. We purged them because they haven't voted in 15 to 20 years. And a lot of voters that have a change of address who they haven't changed their address since the last time they voted. So it's a long day at the polls. Our workers are exhausted, but we're still continuing to vote, folks, all the way up until the last voter is served.
Chris, for some perspective, early voting was above 51% across the county. What kind of number are you expecting at the end of the night tonight based on what you've seen so far?
I'm looking for somewhere between 50,000 and 58,000 election day, and combine that with 163,000 in early voting. And it's too late for me to do math, John, but we've had over 9,000 absentee ballots. You guys can probably do the math at the immediate moment better than I can, but I'm anticipating that we should break our all-time turnout record, which we set 4 years ago. So frankly, given the numbers I'm seeing, I'd be shocked if we don't.
Is there anything else, Chris, that you want people to know in the next few hours that they should do, or questions they should ask as they're headed to the polls?
Yeah, I think two things. Number one, I want the voter to know if he or she is registered, and they can go online and just check out and see if they are registered, because we're getting a lot of those calls today. And then number two, because we only have a couple of hours left, I don't want people getting in line at 7:45, 7:50 if they can help it, is to know where you're going. You can go to our website, Knox Votes, and there's literally a box that says, "Where do I vote?" You just type in your address, and it'll tell you where you go. And my point being, I just don't want voters to go to the wrong place at 7:15, 7:30, and then all of a sudden realize they have to drive 3 neighborhoods over, or they have to drive across town to be able to vote, because we don't want to disenfranchise those folks, but they also need to, take the initiative to know where they're going and know if they're registered.
Chris, as we wrap things up, as we wrap up this election season, has there been anything that stood out to you, anything that surprised you as we wrap this up?
I'm probably too close to it and too deep into it, but, frankly, the Election Day turnout is probably a little bit stronger than I thought it would be, because we set a record by almost 10,000 in early voting. But it's good weather today. A lot of people obviously are excited about it. Obviously, if I'm looking back in retrospect, I wish more people had checked earlier whether they were registered or not. And then I wish we've talked to a lot of people, Robin, a lot of people that have not registered or did not register by the deadline. And that makes me a little bit sad, just because, those are folks that could have voted. So in retrospect, that's maybe a little surprising to me, the number of people. The other big thing, frankly, and I'll make it quick, the other big thing, we have a ton of address changes today, just probably more than we've ever had in an election, which tells me we're moving around a lot. We've got a lot of young folks, and that's been very surprising to me. Normally we don't do this many address changes on an election day, but it's been crazy today.
Well, Knox County Election Administrator Chris Davis. Chris, thank you so much for taking time, and good luck the rest of the night.